Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of the Vampire Diaries. So after last week, Katherine is sitting pretty, right? Because she didn't die when Silass drank all of her blood, and we're not quite sure why that is. She's got all these little kind of quirky things happening to her. So first of all, she was like ravenously hungry during this episode. She has a tooth fall out at one point, and then also like she realizes that a piece of her hair has turned gray. She's still on the run, and so at one point she tries to pass herself off at Elena at college, but it's not long before Caroline figures out who she is. The funny thing though is that Katherine and Caroline end up teaming up during the episode, which was rather interesting. So Katherine barters with Caroline. She's like, look, if you let me stay here, I will help you figure out, your problems with this Dr. Maxfield. And we all know how dastardly Katherine is, so it probably would be a good thing to get some help. They end up draining him and then compelling him to kind of give up some of his secrets before they compel him to forget that Caroline and Elena are vampires. He doesn't give up that many secrets. He tells a little bit about this secret society that's on campus. We get that they're called Augustine and that Elena would have been invited to join except for the fact that they think she's a vampire. So Katherine decides to stroll into this Augustine party as Elena. She walks through the door without being invited in. So now everyone thinks that Elena is not a vampire. They also get from Dr. Maxfield, that he's doing his experiments and that there is something called the Augustine Vampire. And that's the vampire that killed Elena and Caroline's roommate. Back in Mystic Falls, you got the whole plan to try to resurrect Bonnie. So Silass's plan is to find the anchor so that he can destroy the other side. And Jeremy and Damon are along for the ride so that they can make sure that Bonnie gets resurrected. You guys, I do not want to continue Bonnie ranting, but you know that I'm gonna, right? I spent the whole episode thinking to myself, it's not gonna happen. I just knew it was not gonna happen. And it didn't. Of course it didn't. Because poor little helpless Bonnie once again gets shoved to the side for Elena Gilbert. So Stefan wakes up, right, on this couch and realizes that he is at Ketsia's cabin. Ketsia, of course, is trying to stop Silass so she can kill him, but it turns out that Silass has done a spell that traps them inside this cabin. Elena, being her regular busybody self, calls Stefan's cell phone, and when Ketsia answers, Elena decides she needs to go down to make sure that Stefan's not sleeping with Ketsia. Really, Elena? Really? So Miss Jealousy rears her ugly head and marches into the cabin, and that's what really gives Ketsia the bait, she calls Damon and tells him, look, I've got your girlfriend here. Unless you kill Silass, I'm going to kill Elena. And that's how the plan to bring Bonnie back gets killed, because of Elena, So Damon's not going to sacrifice Elena for Bonnie, of course. And, Jeremy, that's his sister. I totally get that. But I don't know, just once again, poor Bonnie gets shoved to the side. You guys know that I am down for Stelena, but I was so annoyed with Elena. I have been annoyed with her actually for the past couple of episodes. It's like she's got this whole jealousy thing going with Stefan, and all I keep thinking to myself is, you spent the summer screwing his brother, all over the house while he was trapped under the water. And yes, I know she didn't know that. But my point is, why is it any of her business? If he decides he wants to sleep with the crazy Ketsia witch, then let him do that. One of the big surprises towards the end of the episode is that they end up finding the anchor, Silass and Jeremy and Damon, and it turns out that it's Amara, the girl that Silass was originally in love with, the one that he betrayed Ketsia for. It turns out that Amara is still alive, that Ketsia didn't kill her, and that she's the anchor. Which is really genius if you think about it, because Silass has to destroy the anchor to destroy the other side, but we all know that he's not going to kill her. Let me tell you what she does, though, which was fascinating. They have this little reunion, and then she realizes that Silass is the cure, that he's got the cure in his blood, and this woman bites him so quickly because she wants to die. Let's just stop for a moment, you guys, and give it up for Nina Dobrev in this episode. You go, Nina Dobrev, because this woman played 3 parts. 3 last night. She played Elena, she played Amara, and she played Katherine, and she did them all so well. The woman is freaking amazing. I'm sensing that the whole doppelganger storyline is headed towards an ending because, we are just full of doppelgangers. They're just everywhere. Back in the cabin with Stefan and Elena and Ketsia, Stefan ends up tricking Ketsia and ends up saving Elena, and of course Ketsia is really, really mad. So at the very end of the episode, she is waiting for Stefan in his room, and she gives him his memories back. But the problem is that she only gives him, like, the worst parts of them. So I'm not quite sure if she restores his full memory or just the really, really bad parts. I feel like last week's episode was really the best of the season so far, and this week's episode just gave me some hope that we are definitely headed in the right direction. It was a good episode, and I am invested in what is coming this season. Can't wait to see what happens. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.